and I was only able to spell 2 words correctly. It was horrible. 18, I could not spell correctly. I could not understand as a kid why receive is spelled with an EI and a believe that is spelled with an IE. I mean, who makes these rules, right? So there I was. What made it even worse was, I lost all confidence in school because not only were my grades bad, but I share this always that I was not good in sports. I mean, some of my classmates, they were not good with their grades, but at least they were terrific in sports. I wasn't. And PE, we were required to play basketball. And I did not know how to play. I would remember I would be dribbling the ball, walking, and then I would trip on the ball. I would fall flat on my face. I would look around me, and everybody is laughing, but guess who was laughing the loudest? My PE teacher. So that was my life. To make it worse, I was an incurable introvert. I liked being alone. I didn't like being with a lot of people, which made me a perfect target for bullies. And so when I was growing up, I was bullied. So that later on, as I grew up, I remember watching the movie Spider-Man, and I saw Peter Parker being bullied by his classmates. It was so surreal, because, oh my gosh, that's me. That's me. But of course, in the movie, Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man and beats them up, right? Well, I became a Jesus follower at the age of 12, which gave more reasons for the bullies to bully me. That was my story. So, I also shared my story that when I was 8 years old, I was molested as a child, and that traumatized me. And so you could say that a huge chunk of my childhood was miserable. And there was a part of me that felt that my childhood was cursed. Fast forward, who would have thought that the kid who did not like to read has written 60 plus best-selling books. And the logic on hindsight is very simple. I hated complicated books. So I wanted to write a book for people like me who did not like to read books. And so my goal was not to impress people with my knowledge, but to pass on a message that would change people's lives. Who would have thought that an incurable introvert would one day lead many organizations and would be a preacher speaking to crowds? Somebody who does not like crowds would be in front of crowds almost every day of his life, speaking to 20 plus countries. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that somebody who did not like basketball today still does not like basketball? Some things don't change, right? Well, at least I bike every day, and believe me, at 56, it's the most athletic I've ever felt in my life. But I share you my story to tell you that I thank God that when I look back at my miserable childhood, when I look back at my life and felt it was cursed, I see the presence of God. I see that God was there all along. And do you know what He was doing? Ask me what? He was turning curse into blessing. The reason why this introvert on stage became somebody who reaches out to massive crowds almost every day, the logic in hindsight is clear. I feel people's pain. I feel the brokenness of people because I was broken for many, many years. I know what it feels like to be bullied by life. And so when I speak to people, I tell them, I'm just like you, I know your pain, and I'm telling you God is in your life. He was in my life. He turned curse into blessing. He's going to do the same thing with you. I believe in that. Before I pass on this microphone to our next speaker, I need to tell you this story. Crazy story. Woman taking care of her sick husband for 3 months in the hospital. Caring, loving her husband who was sick. And then one day, the husband wakes up in the morning, motions his wife to come near, sit beside him. And then the husband tells the wife, sweetheart, I realized that all my life, during all my tragedies, you're always there. Always there. I remember when I lost my job and I was retrenched, you were there beside me. The house got burned. Remember that? And the wife said, yes. You were there beside me. And remember that time when I got sick 3 months ago, and you thought I was gone, and I was such a difficult patient, but every day you were there for me. Oh, I remember that he went on and on about this and about that, and how the wife was there. And then the wife was getting teary-eyed at the beautiful words of her husband. And then the husband said, now I realize, in every tragedy you were there, sweetheart, ikaw ang malas ng buhay ko. You are the bad luck of my life. Now, that's a horrible husband, right? The analogy is not perfect. But there are times when we go through our trials, we blame God. But the reality is that God was there in every single tragedy. And do you know what he was doing? He was turning curse into blessing. Brother Oli Villarasa, give him a big hand.